Hello and welcome to this edition of Akron Buzz. My name is Aaron Coleman and I'm here with one of our special guests, founder of the Akron Snow Angels, Erin Victor-Shook. Erin, welcome to Akron Buzz. How's it going?
It's going great. It's going great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. First of all, Erin, for those people out there who do not know, how did Akron Snow Angels come about? What's the mission of the organization and how did this idea come to your mind?
Sure. I would say Akron Snow Angels is a little bit of a fluke. So I always really love to do stuff in the community, but the way that this started was just on accident, really. I was working at St. Bernard's with the Torchbearers class in 2015. It was last Wednesday in January of 2015. Actually, maybe it was 14. Oh, no, 2015. And met a lot of people that really needed help while we were there. There was a gentleman whose feet were purple in the back of the area, trying to get them warm. There was a gentleman that had had a stroke, didn't have any family here. He used to be a car porter at one of the dealerships and had a stroke and was living now in a homeless shelter with nothing. And then there's a lady, the last lady that just really hit me was a lady that she came in and she had a bunch of dusters that she was unzipping, and underneath was a baby, probably only a few months old. And I had just recently had my second niece, so I was thinking of my sister if she was walking around, outside in the ice and snow, and if you could fall and whatnot. And I just really left that volunteer day and just broke down. Sad. People didn't have the clothing that they needed. Many people, didn't have socks, had holes in their boots, no coats. And it was just, I went home, I put my coat away and stood there and started crying because I had like 20 winter coats and Xerox paper boxes full of gloves and hats and scarves that I probably never really used, many of them, just things that I had in the coat closet. And boots that I really hadn't put on in a long time. And I just thought, this isn't right. So I took to social media, as some of us do, and put a little, story out there about how I just couldn't believe I had all these, things at home that were not being utilized, but so many people were out on the street who could need them. And the rest is history. It blew up. We ended up having a donation drive. Annabelle's in Highland Square ended up saying, we'll be the place for you to have the clothes dropped off to. And it just, everything filled up my living room, my dining room, and my solarium room. And we went out that Super Bowl Sunday of 2015. It was a crazy Super Bowl Sunday. The city of Akron actually had to close the streets down from all the snow. And we hiked through encampments. We stopped at the bus stops. And it was myself and 4 other people. And Kaylee Foster, I'm sure you know her, La Sharita and Larvell Fellows, Julie Ferris, and we just hit the streets. And that next Tuesday, the Plain Dealer picked it up. It was a surprise, and we kept it going. And then by that summer, we were a nonprofit. So it was not a plan, but it was obviously somebody else's plan up there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys have been doing a lot of great things in the community since that day, since 2015. Talk a little bit about during the COVID year of 2020, how you guys were able to get shoes and coats and all of those things to those that need it during this pandemic in which you really couldn't have that face-to-face interaction with people.
Yeah. The pandemic has really been hard for us as a board and as volunteers because our number one reason for going out was, yes, to keep people warm. Like that was the way that we were going to meet these people. But what we learned right after starting Snow Angels, we learned that it wasn't really about the clothing. It was, because those are the things that they needed to survive. But it was the relationships that these people craved, the warmth of heart. So that's what we really strive to do, is become friends with them, like authentic friends, and stay in contact, make sure they're safe, make sure they're okay. and be someone that they can talk to if and when they're ready to potentially move another step towards whatever their life is supposed to be. And we work really hard on that. So yes, the pandemic, we are not doing what we want to do in the pandemic. However, we are staying on top of those emergency needs. So what we do is we have an email, we have a phone number. We worked really hard to get in touch with a lot of the different agencies, a lot of the different homeless advocates. There's a lot of people that are homeless they're homeless advocates that help to make it easier for the other ones on the streets. So we stay in contact with them. They have ways to get a hold of me and a few other of the board members. And then we just answer the call. So where we, had to bring food to people that hadn't eaten, or where they needed boots, hats, coats. We've also been working with some agencies to where, like, an example, incarcerated individuals, they go in, in the summertime and they don't have winter coats, and then all of a sudden they're back out and some of them don't have anywhere to go. So we'll work to make sure that they have the proper winter clothing that they need to get where they're going. Also, there's been a lot of families that have just really been hurting, unable to clothe their children. I mean, you have a child.
Oh yeah.
They grow really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in my goddaughter's life now since she was 1.5, and she's going to be 6 this year. And it blows my mind when I go through her clothes all the time, and I'm like, how has she grown out of this? She's worn it once. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And that's not cheap to do, especially when you aren't making a living wage. So parents have called us a lot. I'm struggling to be able to get the winter items that I need for my child and things like that. So we're lucky that we have so many amazing donors that will donate that coat that their child wore last year. And we have a warehouse full of these things, so we can make sure to get it to them. But we also do the emergency response, to where if we don't have those sizes for adults, children, anyone in the community, we all of our donation money goes straight to purchase that item for them and get it right into the hands of someone that needs it. So now our number one challenge is making sure, even though we can't interact as face-to-face as we would want to be able to keep those interactions going. I text a lot with people that do have phones, or our Snow Angels Facebook page and things like that, just trying to keep in contact with them, so that when we can meet again in person, we can pick back up.
All right, Erin, quick question for you here. When can people, or where rather, can people find volunteer information, and also where to donate items such as coats, hats, boots, whatever it may be?
Definitely. So our website is akronsnowangels.org. If you hit .com, it'll also go to the .org site. We also have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram page. We have no paid staff. So we're just a board of community members who all kind of have, their other jobs and things like that. So it's not always every single day we're, up to date on everything, but our website is up to date. We do keep that. It has our drop-off locations. We post on social media whenever we can. And that's really where you can find all information. There's an email on that site if you have any questions about donating goods or volunteering. We do have opportunities. There's small opportunities right now because, we're not going out in those big groups. We're literally going out in, a lot of the time it's me and my husband getting in a car and going out to where these people are right now, just because, the current circumstances, and trying to keep everybody as safe as possible. But very soon we're going to need the more the merrier. So, yeah, definitely. Anybody that wants to volunteer, anybody that has a heart for the homeless. I know we're actually expanding our board right now, which is really exciting. Susan Flowers is an amazing community advocate and volunteer. She was a mentor of mine for years. She's our acting director right now, which is exciting. So she's helping to kind of move the needle forward. As it's hard to do with just, community members that have other jobs and things. And she's able to do that for us right now, which is exciting. And I know they're looking for a treasurer. There's some other things. So if there's anybody out here, listening that really thinks, wow, I'd really love to be involved in an organization like this, give us a call, chat with us, and, we'd love to have you in any capacity.
All right, last question here for you, Erin. How important is it to have those relationships built with other nonprofits in the area to not only execute your mission, but also for volunteers and other things of that sort? If there's people that know about one nonprofit or one community mission, then they probably would know about another one. If, just through, social interaction, talking, that sort of thing. How important is it to have those relationships, you think?
I personally, every single thing I do in life is built around relationships. I think those relationships are the number one thing that you should focus on, besides the relationship with also, the people that we're helping, but those relationships with other nonprofits. When everything kind of went into a whirlwind and, we were getting news press and things like that, I wasn't planning to have a nonprofit. In my mind, Haven and Breast was there, and I didn't really know a lot about the homeless population in the way that I know it now. I always would help and do different things, but I didn't know the nitty gritty. And we had a couple people within the city of Akron, Russ Pride being one of them, who said, hey, there's a hole here. There's a little bit of a hole here. Let's see how we can, do this. So the number one thing was, let's not reinvent the wheel. Mm-hmm. Snow Angels, we haven't applied for any grants yet. At some point we might have to. Right now it's all community driven. But we're not here to take away from the amazing organizations and services in the community. We want to create those friendships, give them the emergency need that they have. A lot of times somebody could need a coat, and you have to kind of jump through hoops if it's just not in their clothing room. We had toyed with being a fiscal having a fiscal sponsor for our nonprofit when we first started. But because we need to be able to just get in the bank account, go buy those boots, go buy that coat, if we didn't have the sizes, we would have had to wait and get a couple signatures or a board approval and things like that. And finally, within a year, we were like, we're not going to do a fiscal sponsorship. We have to be able to do those emergency needs. So that's what sets us apart. That being said, we are constantly saying, hey, you need dental work, this is wrong, let's go to community support services, or Open M can do this. We donate to those nonprofits. I'm always constantly watching Access's page. They need certain things and we have those things. We don't want to sit on those things. We want to get them into the hands of the people that, they need it. So that's one thing. Any of our donations, any of the money that comes through, we will make sure it gets into the hands to help people. We're not going to just sit on donations if they can be needed. And, long story short, those relationships are huge. It's the only way, we can do so much, but the more people that are out there, the more we can do and the more people we can help. So 100%, I'm all about collaboration and doing whatever we can to help people.
The website, once again, akronsnowangels.org. You could find all of the information that Erin just spoke about there. You could get in contact with her and the other board members to find out more about the organization, where to donate, things of that sort. Erin, thank you so much for shedding some light on the organization. Best of luck to you in the future. And, we'll talk to you again next time.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. And you can check out that interview and all other great interviews not only on the akronbuzz.com website, you could also check it out on all social media, and including our new Roku channel, which will have this and other interviews on the Roku channel. For Erin Victor-Shook, I'm Aaron Coleman. This is Akron Buzz. Make it a great day.